Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Let's get ready to rumble! Seattle's got to make a stop. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff! Who had that on the bingo card? Touchdown Lions!
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hello, what's up? It's your boy, Main Event Mike. It's the main event, and it's the first main event of the season after the season started. 0-1 for the Detroit Lions. Got spanked by the Packers 27-13, and it wasn't that close, folks. You've heard all the bad opinions. You've heard all the bad takes already. Now you get to hear mine. Welcome to the program. It's the main event, 2025. Detroit Lions start the season 0-1, as I said. We're going to talk about that. We're going to review all of everyone's bad opinions and what Dan Campbell said about the situation. We're going to break down the ins and outs. I'm going to give you a couple of things that maybe you haven't heard yet. But before we do that, we'd like to thank the people that make it possible, like the 360 Radio Network. You can go to 360radionetwork.com and check out all their music that they have, a catalog of music, put your own playlist together, etc. Some really cool music. Even my band is on there. How cool is that? You can also go over to our Facebook page. It's called The Main Event. Got a great picture of Matt Patricia there. And please follow us. We started from scratch, and now we're trying to get up to 1,000 followers. Doesn't sound like much, but it would mean a lot to me. We're also going to talk about fantasy football this week. You'll notice that big empty space in my background because I don't have that big trophy anymore. I had to give it back to last year's winner, and I'm on a march to get it back next year. But week one wasn't a very good start. I had Jahmyr Gibbs and A.J. Brown and George Kittle. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But right now, I want to go on a rant and a tirade about this Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers game. First thing, right out of the gate, Packers wanted it more. They were hungry. They were mad. We've owned them, straight owned them in the last few years. They're a very good team. Against everyone else in the league, they were 10-1 besides the Lions and Vikings. Last year's a good team. And then you add a beast like Micah Parsons in, yeah, they're favorites to win the division. The minute they made that trade, they were favorites to win the division. Not my opinion, folks. That's Las Vegas. Made the odds, the Packers, the odds-on favorite to win the division after the trade. And it showed up with his ailing back or whatever. I never thought for 1 minute his back was anything. That was just a camp thing, so he didn't have to work out for the Cowboys, and they traded him. Which I think it was a good trade. I think it was a good trade for the Cowboys. We went over that last week, but I think it showed up in the game on Sunday. Detroit couldn't get anything going. The defense was stifling. The offensive play calling was vanilla. I got some stats I'm going to show you, some PFF grades I'm going to give you. It's not going to ease the pain, Lions fans. There are real concerns. We talked about it last week. Anybody who's looking at this with rose-colored glasses and you think the loss of Ragnow and Zeitler isn't going to be an issue, or if you don't think losing Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn's going to be an issue, you don't know football. Especially when you're talking about the play caller and the center. Along with the quarterback, those three need to be in lockstep. And we lost 2 and 3. There's going to be some growing pains. And to come out against a very, very good team as a home opener, division rival, season opener, against a team you've owned and they've got a bad taste in their mouth, they don't like you. Josh Jacobs said right after the game and at the podium with Matt Ryan, said, yeah, we don't like them. He didn't want to give us any bulletin board stuff, but he wasn't making any bones about it. They don't like each other. So that added fire. The rookies looked like rookies. Dan Campbell said after in his post-game presser that he expected better. He expected them to look better than they did. And I think maybe this whole Lions regime is guilty of that. Yeah, Brad's a very good drafter. But this is the Packers in Lambeau to start the season. All right. Tate Ratledge might be a Hall of Famer someday. Who knows? But he'll always look back at the first game when he got his ass kicked. Christian Mahogany got his ass kicked. Okay? Maybe they're going to be good, but they aren't right now. And Graham Glasgow, as we said last week, certainly not an all-world center. He's an adequate center. That's a problem, folks, up the middle. You look at it when you see the stat sheet. David Montgomery averaged 2.3 yards per carry. Jahmyr Gibbs, averaged 2.1 yards per carry. The offensive line's been the cornerstone of this team. I still think they make the playoffs? Yes. Is the sky falling? No. It's the first game. All right? We're a damn good team also. I still think we make the playoffs. I still think that the season is not lost. I still hope, and I believe we could win the Super Bowl. Once you get in the playoffs, it's anybody's game. The Green Bay Packers themselves proved that in 2010. So, no, I'm not giving up. I do have some news here, though. It says that the Detroit Area Medical Council, not really, is reporting a rash of knee and ankle injuries due to Lions fans jumping off the bandwagon. So let's see who's in the comments today. Davey says, good evening, One Pride. Matt in the comments says, good evening, sir. What's good, A-Dub? Another good Packer fan. Thanks for being here, A-Dub. Good game. Your squad played good. John Dorn, where's the Darth Vader music? Are you worried about your offensive line? Yeah, John, take the helmet off, all right, for just a minute. And listen, I just got done saying that. Brent in the chat says, Ragnow starting yesterday as a win. Biggest offseason loss for sure. Sure, I know you can't understate it. It's not just, the play. It's the communication and how much communication plays a role in running an offense. And Ragnow set the protections, had a rapport with Goff and the play caller. The play caller. Oh, we're going to talk about that today as well. Put it in the comments. Tell me what you point to as the number one thing that was the Lions' downfall. And Packer fans, you can go and pat yourselves on the back if you like with this, because, yeah, you bottled us up. Our O-line, as we said, was bad. The play calling was vanilla. But the Packers, they played a lot of too high safety. They kept everything in front of them, and they dared us to get everything underneath, and we did, and they bottled that up. So they had a good plan. Dan Campbell said that in his post-game presser as well. He pointed to a lot of missed assignments. He called them in the post-game presser MAs, missed assignments, and he said that was on him. He took the brunt of that, put that on his shoulders, and, he said he gave them too much too soon. These are rookies. This is the NFL. This isn't college anymore. And he gave them too much at once. And he's, as he alluded to when they asked him, why didn't you take more shots downfield? He said, look, we got to get the easy stuff first. If we can't complete the check down for 3 yards, what makes you think we're going to be able to hit the one over the top? They were stymied. I want to hear it from you in the comments. What was the biggest issue? The lack of pass rush that the Lions had? 0 sacks? Or was it the offensive line who allowed 4 sacks? You could point to any of that. Look, I know Tony Romo gets a lot of crap from people. Ever since he's come in, I thought he's an excellent color analyst. If you actually listen to what he's saying, he's 1,000 times better than Chris Collinsworth, let me tell you that. And Tony Romo had a great comment early in the fourth quarter. He said, all game long, it has looked very hard for the Detroit Lions. And all game long, it has looked very easy for the Green Bay Packers. And when it is like that, that means one team is dominating the line of scrimmage. Not just on one side of the ball, on both sides of the ball. They are dominating the line of scrimmage. And that is what you've got to point to. Not one thing. It's a collection of things. Let's take a look at these PFF grades. Might shock you a little bit. On defense, the lowest grades, Rock Ya-Sin, DJ Reed. Those are the 2 worst on defense. That's in the secondary, folks. We're not even talking about the lack of pass rush. Green Bay Packers had 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7, 2nd and 9. They converted them all. We could not get our defense off the field. Look, Jordan Love gave us a couple chances. He did. He always does. He always gives you a couple of chances. And Anzalone had one in his hands and couldn't hold it. Brian Branch has a pick 6, but Rock Ya-Sin with this horrible PFF grade of 33.4, grabbing and holding, gets it called back. Now, I get that Hutch had a roughing on Jordan Love on that, but that one's questionable. Even Dan Campbell pointed to the officiating. Look, on both sides, the officiating was bad. I saw Micah Parsons get illegal hands to the face at least 3 times, and it was never called. Okay? Some of the stuff was ticky-tack. Some of the stuff, they let it go. It's consistency. That's what the fans want. Call it or don't call it. If you're going to call it once, you got to keep calling it. You can't let it go and call it sometimes. And that's why you're going to get replaced by technology. Talking to you, NFL referees. In the red zone, Green Bay was 3 for 5. The Lions 1 for 4. That's not going to get it done. Dan Campbell also said this in his presser. We need to come away with touchdowns, not field goals in these situations. But overall, folks, it just didn't look like we had any fire. Didn't look like we were playing with any real heart. Even Hutch, I noticed after he would get double teamed and blocked out of the play, he kind of just stopped. I've never seen him do that. If Micah Parsons would have done that, he would have never got that sack on Jared Goff. His motor was not at 100. He seemed gassed. There was a moment there where the camera was on Aiden Hutchinson. It was a routine run, 2-yard gain off tackle. And he's huffing and puffing. So I think there was a lot at play here for the Detroit Lions. All you fans who want to jump off the bandwagon, you go right ahead. Because you look up and down the roster, like Jared Goff said in his post-game presser, we got good players, we got good coaches. But I'm going to tell you what I think was the number one thing that caused us to lose, and I'm going to put it up right for you right here. And that is the play calling. No completed pass beyond 15 yards. Look at that play chart. Yeah, Jared Goff, 31 of 39. We know he's an accurate quarterback. That's insane. That's a great accuracy statistic. 225 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That rates out to an 88.6 on your quarterback rating. Not good enough, Jared. I mean, look at that. Not 1 completed pass over 15 yards. Only 1 attempted pass, 20 yards in the air. That's not this explosive Detroit Lions offense that put up 33 points. And Dan Campbell could say, yeah, we got to, hit the dink and dunks first. We got to be able to run the ball to open up the play action. All right. But make sure your play chart doesn't look like this when you lose by 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns if you count the 1 in garbage time and take that off the board, even though it was a beauty. And we did continue our streak of 49 consecutive games with a touchdown, make it 50 mofos. Even though it was garbage time, it was only a 13-yard in-the-air pass. But what a beauty. Isaac Tesla, one hand, keeps the feet in. They tried to rob us of it. But the eye in the sky said no. That's a catch. So, there are some positives to point to here. Look, these PFF grades, you see Tyleik Williams at 48.7, okay? What you don't see here is the couple of plays that he made were really good plays and big plays. That's why PFF grades aren't the be-all, end-all, people. But they do give you a nice barometer of how the non-statistical plays were being executed by your personnel. And you can see here that on offense, Graham Glasgow, our center, the lowest rated player on our team. Folks, that's an issue. Our quarterback, the second. Okay, and tell me that losing the center and the play caller aren't a big deal? Yeah, the sky's not falling. We're going to be fine. I still think we're going to make the playoffs. I mean, this is still a very good team, and everybody knows it. The Packer fans know. In fact, we're going to have a Packer fan on here tonight. He's going to tell you, yeah, this is a good Detroit team. Hell yeah. They just ran into a buzzsaw. Green Bay's on a mission. They pushed all their chips in the center of the table when they made the Micah Parsons trade. This is Matt LaFleur. Hard to believe he's on a hot seat of any kind. I poo-pooed it all the time. He's one of the best play callers. If they let go of Matt LaFleur, he'd be snatched up. He wouldn't be on the street for a day. Somebody would fire their coach to hire him. He's that good. So they are pushing all their chips in now. They drafted a wide receiver, and they acquired a defensive end. I gave them shit on draft day for not taking an edge, not taking some pass rush, and taking that receiver instead. Well, I don't think they knew at the time that they were going to get Micah Parsons. But that doesn't matter. All roads lead to the same place. They got their pass rusher. They got their wide receiver 1. He looked decent in his debut as a rookie. He's got a lot of upside, a lot of speed, catches the ball with his hands, catches the ball in stride. So Jordan Love is a gunslinger, just like every other Green Bay quarterback that's come through. This isn't new. Going to Lambeau and losing isn't new. Okay? They just reloaded. But the Detroit Lions, this is not your same old Lions. And I think even they know that. And you don't even hear people say SOL anymore. Only idiots still say that. They can say Fool's Gold Lions. That's their new thing. That's their new way to say the same thing, which is okay with me. What up we got in here? Davey says he thinks it's the O-line and the defensive ends as the problem. You don't think that play calling was just as bad, just as big? They looked predictable. Everything was covered underneath. We did see Sam Laporta get 6 catches for 79 yards. So what they were giving us, it's like we were exploiting it. We had lots of long drives. We held the ball, time of possession, Detroit Lions 35-25, and the Green Bay Packers 24-35. So full, 11 minutes more than them. So a quarter. I mean, it's a lot more. We had a long drive. You get to the red zone, can't convert. That's a problem because you're losing at the line of scrimmage. What are you going to do about it now? Brent in the house says, I thought Johnny Morton was trying to call plays like he had last year's O-line. Yeah, that's a keen observation there. What up, Yinzer? Brent says, Hutch really dropped back into coverage 4 times. He did. Such a great call out. Davenport dropping back into coverage. Hutch dropping back into coverage. Sometimes they dropped them both into coverage. And look, I'm okay with that. They couldn't get pressure. So they tried something else. 4-man rush wasn't getting it across the line. We were getting beat. So Kelvin Shepherd got aggressive. He tried. He pulled his ends out. He blitzed his safeties. He blitzed his linebackers. He stunted his defensive tackles. He tried a lot of stuff. Nothing was working. Green Bay had an answer for everything that we did. But most of it, you got to just throw it away. As Dan Campbell said, a lot of it they can clean up missed assignments. Look, I get that these are rookie guards, okay, that you're playing on each side of Glasgow. But when there's a run call to the left and they all run right, that's a missed assignment. If you got a body there, we stand a better chance. So many missed assignments. Even Coach Campbell said it looked bad. But I believe it'll get better, and I know you believe it too. Even our opponents know that. Brent said he picks the Steelers. Yeah, good game by Aaron Rodgers. For sure. Yinzer says the play calling was horrible. The O-line was abysmal. I guess so. Well, let's take our medicine now. I'll tell you what, in the back chat, the Packer fans have been pretty brutal on us Lions fans. And some of us sit in there and take it on the chin, and some of us run and hide. I happen to be one who doesn't go and hide. I take it on the chin. I'm here to take my medicine. Welcome to the show. He is the host of the Packer Backer News right here on the Huddle Sports Network. You are watching the main event on the Huddle Sports Network on Roku TV. I forgot to mention that. Sorry. Please welcome to the program, Robert Bertana. Welcome, Robert.
What's up, guys?
Pat you back with Rob.
Mike, you run a good show, bro. I love your show, man. That was great. I was just back there enjoying all of it, man. That was great. Although I want to tell you one thing. On your little chart there on the passing, he did have one pass for 20 yards. It was up in the top right corner. If you go back there, you'll see the little yellow dot. It's right on the sideline.
Really?
Right at the 20-yard mark.
Fact check this right now.
It was right at the 20-yard mark. Look up on the top
that's
right.
That's the one St. Brown dove out of bounds and made an incredible, miraculous catch. How could we leave that out? Good call.
Yeah, that was the only 20-yarder. But, yeah, you guys did have one.
So now from another perspective, Rob, I've been asking my audience, and I've expressed I thought it was the play calling. It made us predictable. Everything over the middle. You guys weren't disguising your defense at all. You just rushed 4 guys and dropped back 7 and said, come on and beat us. And we couldn't do it. But that's what I pointed to. I've asked my audience to tell me what they're pointing to. From another perspective, as a Green Bay backer, what did you see that your team did that broke the Lions' back on Sunday?
Honestly, it's just, look, you guys have had us the last couple of years. We got swept. We should have been swept by the whole division. Come on, man. A block field goal was a block field goal away from being swept by the Bears even. Last year we were not good in the division. And LaFleur made a statement, to the team that he was going to make sure that they did better in the division. And he proved it last night. We didn't know we were getting Micah Parsons. You were right when you made that, should we have gotten one in the draft? I was on the fence with that too, because there was 2 things we were lacking last year. We had a lot of drop passes by our young receiving core and a lack of a pass rush. A real big guy, one solid guy to bring it all together. And I thank you, Jerry. Thank you for being a dumbass and letting him go. But Mike is a game changer, bro. He was wrecking shop right from the very first play he was put in there. You guys, nothing against you guys, but I don't know that you guys could have did anything, Ragnar would have made it better. It would have been more solid. I would have loved to see that kind of a fight. Imagine what would happen too, because our defense is tough. I have never seen a Green Bay defense look like this. It's even when Parsons wasn't in there, those guys were flying around. Everybody's like, what are you going to do? No Kenny Clark. They stepped up. Those guys stepped up, man, yesterday.
They did. The secondary really stepped up. Guys like Evan Williams and Ballantyne, those guys did their job. And Xavier McKinney, we all know is an All-Pro, but those guys who might be, if you're going to look around that defense and try to pick a weakness, those are the guys I'm probably going to try to pick on, and they stepped up in a big way yesterday as well. So,
with
John
the
says, go ahead.
Pass rush, that helps. Good pass rush helps the secondary.
For sure. And the Lions' lack of a pass rush. Jordan Love's back there making a pitcher of lemonade, winding his watch, setting his fantasy lineup. He had all kinds of time back there. John says the Packers only blitzed 4 times. And look, that's what every single defensive coordinator in the NFL wants to achieve. Pressure with 4 guys. That's the end game. That's the goal.
Yep.
Lions not able to do it, so they had to try to get creative. And every time they did, it was bottled up. So, I guess what you're saying, Rob, is what the Packers did was just a great defensive performance.
Yes.
And that was the point to answer my question.
And, we still had a few drops, but it wasn't like the drops that those guys dropped was circus catch drops. They were catching everything. Jordan Love, he gives you, like you said, like you made a good point of it, and you're right. Jordan Love will give you that's what gunslingers do. They give you opportunities to get picked off. He gave that opportunity. Anzalone dropped one. I know he wishes he could take that back. That was right in his mitts.
yeah, one Anzalone, and then BB gets one, and what a great interception. And you know what? The one interception that Goff threw was just a great play by Evan Williams. That was just a great play. It's that bread and butter comeback route, that curl to Amon-Ra St. Brown that we've run 1,000 times to save us on 3rd down. And this time the Packers sniffed it out, and he made a great play on the ball. We're still going to run that play 100 more times this year.
It works for 98% of the time. Bro.
It does, it does. So
it works.
I mean, Amon Ross got some pretty strong hands. I put the link out there in the chat if anybody wants to join the show. Will, you're more than welcome at any time, of course. So, Rob, when's the next time you'll be on the internet talking about football?
Tomorrow. I'm on every day. I'm on a daily show called the Daily Huddle. We do a show every day at noon Central, noon to 1, and me, Bill, Ken, we're on there. We're all got a whole bunch of guys that show up. A-Dub, like some of your guys on here, John, A-Dub, we got a lot of guys from the Huddle that do different podcasts all come on for the Daily Show. And Mike, you're more than welcome. I think you've even been on there once or twice, come on the Daily Show. It's just a bunch of us getting together. Just, we're just talking football, man. It's all it is. We get rowdy sometimes, but, it's football. It's chat.
Mm-hmm. I want your take on one of the plays where Green Bay had the ball in the third quarter. I think it was a 3rd down, a 3rd and 6 maybe. And it was a pass play to Jaden Reed. The ball clearly hit the ground, but the Packers made it up to the line and got the play off before we could challenge the play. Do you recall that play?
Yes, that's the play where they said he slid his knee or his leg sort of trapped it, at the same. I know what play you're talking about.
But you could clearly see that the ball hit the ground. And your team scrambled to the line of scrimmage, got the play off. Kudos to them, and they avoided us being able to challenge that play. Do you think things like that means that maybe we got out coached a little bit in that respect?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you guys knew for sure that it was a bad call, like that's been the norm. Whenever a coach sees something, like even I know LaFleur, if he thinks it's bad, he'll just call a timeout, throw the flag, and then tell them why you're throwing the flag, and then they'll go look at it. But if you don't call that time, they're not going to stop to look for it. They're not going to stop. They just aren't. You gotta be assertive to some things. I think it's wrong that they do that. I think you get 3 challenges a game. You should be able to challenge any play. I don't care what play it is. Not challenge every play, but if it's a bad play, like how many times do we see a quarterback get his head slapped around last year on Monday Night Football? Hands to the face. And we watched Micah Parsons, hands to the face, no calls. Something's got to change. If they're going to call and we're going to have clean games, we need the calls right. We need to get it. I agree with you 100%. The refs suck at their job. They just suck.
I absolutely saw Micah Parsons get hands to the face a couple times. I saw Hutchinson get straight up tackled a couple times. Let's welcome to the show a couple more Packer fans just to add insult to injury. It's John Dorn here on the program, and A-Dub is in the house as well. And we're going to bring our good friend Will. He's a Panthers fan and a Lions backer. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
How's it going?
Thank you, sir.
John, it's your moment. It's your moment to boast. It's your moment to have your moment.
No, I'm good, man. You guys, fucking, we won. We won. I mean, we got the monkey off our back,
Yeah, it was a big monkey. You guys were a huge monkey. I'll give them that. Yeah, you guys were.
We needed this win more than you did. We needed.
You hear that, Lions fans? We were a monkey.
Yeah,
We're on that monkey cut off my shoulder.
Yeah, you was
throw the bags away. We're no longer monkeys. We're monkeys now. We're monkey on your back now.
But yeah, I kind of knew you guys might take a while to get going because new coordinators, offensive line, and stuff like that. But I didn't expect you guys to look that bad, to tell you the truth. I'm sorry to say, but you guys look like totally unready to go. I mean,
I agree 100%.
But in the off season, like in the preseason, I heard Hutchins doing really great. And your receivers are doing really good. JMO's doing really good. Then all of a sudden you come out flat like this. Like, wow, what happened? You wonder, like, what happened to the Lions,
Right.
But it's week 1. We'll see what happens,
It's week 1.
It's not the end all, man.
Yeah.
You guys got time to make adjustments and everything. We started off pretty bad on opening night, opening days. I can't stand it. It feels you feel like this sense of doom that you got a hurdle already. The season's just starting and you already feel like you're behind. You know what I mean? It's a bad feeling. I hate it. I know.
Hey, Dub, what do you look to as like the biggest thing that put your team over the top in this game?
What I was looking at the most was just how Michael Parsons was going to make certain people around him better, because I've been on record saying this. Like, when we acquired Michael Parsons, my attitude with him was how much does he make certain players around him better? Because he would attract a lot of attention to where other defensive players would be able to elevate their game and catch other players by surprise, because it's just a matter of how much attention is he going to get being that impactful player on defense, and everybody else will be able to have their moments to shine. Like when he was on the field, it was always that kind of story. Michael Parsons' presence would always garner a lot of attention from the offense to where somebody else can catch them by surprise and have a big moment in big places.
I said on this program last week that Lucas Van Ness was going to be the biggest benefactor of bringing Micah Parsons to this team. And we saw that yesterday, I think, a little bit. He came in. Yeah. I mean, you got to – I mean, he's going to soften him up for you at least, right? Yeah. And he was able to get a big sack yesterday as well. And that's what – I love that you said that, A-Dub, because like Michael Jordan, that's what great players do. They raise the level of play of those around them. And that was a big deal getting a guy like Micah Parsons. Will, want to ask you now, did you watch that Packers-Lions game? I know you're a Panthers fan. Tough loss for the Panthers yesterday. What did you get a chance to watch that Lions game?
No, I didn't. But from what I saw from the highlights and looking at the stats, Adrian Cooper was a big-time presence. That linebacker is a good young linebacker they have in Green Bay, and they also have Rashawn Gary, who's also been a menace for years. So I was unfortunately unable to watch it, but what I read was just the offense didn't execute. Again, it's week one. It's new coordinators, new system for these players. I know they had all preseason, all off season, but you know what? It's week one. You can't call it over after one game. Even though it was an ugly game, you still can't call it over.
Yeah, big pick six. Brent says the pick six called back was a killer from Brian Branch. You know what else was a killer? Throwing an opposing player's helmet was a killer. After you just stuffed a run play, you set up a 2nd and 10. All right, and you do something dumb like that. And the pick six, it does suck to have it back, but boy, I would love to be on here today going, that was a terrible call, but it wasn't. Rock Ya-Sin was all over that receiver, grabbing him, pulling him. I mean, every fiber of my being wants to say that was bullshit, but that was a good call. One of the times they got it right. And that's what bugs me is the consistency. You don't call it when it doesn't benefit my team, or when it does benefit my team, or it doesn't benefit my team. Let's have some consistency here, referees. I point to that as a big part of this game as well.
Well, I didn't know that rule. It was there. It's a fairly new rule. The Hutchinson, when he hit Love, they're not allowed to hit the quarterback. He's like supposed to be untouched when the ball's turned over. You know, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback.
No, the way that Dean Stern radio guy explained it during the broadcast was that as long as the quarterback, he's off limits unless he's in direct pursuit of the play.
Yes, and he wasn't in pursuit of the play. You can't touch him. It's like the kicker. You can't touch him unless he's interfering, trying to place a block.
But when you think about the way a football game happens, though, that's kind of baloney in a way. It used to be he was fair game to be blocked. And
anybody used to be fair game. Warren Sapp made it. I remember he took out an offensive lineman on the Green Bay on a turnover. He turned around and smacked him when he wasn't looking. I mean, that was straight up. It was criminal, bro.
Hutchinson took out Zach Tom on us, and he's injured because of that play.
Yeah, but I don't think he took him out to hurt him. No. That wasn't the plan.
No.
Whenever you hit a guy off a turnover, and you hit a guy who's not looking, he's watching the play, and then you just take a shot because you can. There was no need to hit him. I mean,
but you just threw an interception. The guy's coming back the other way. If you don't hit him and he makes the tackle.
Okay, all right, you can block him, but you can't deck him. He knocked Love on his ass, man.
That was a block.
No, come on, bro.
Well, you gotta give Hutch at least one good play. Otherwise, he was absent the whole game. You gotta give him at least one play, man.
Right. You guys took him out of the game.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's not a factor.
He was a non-factor.
Yeah.
He'll never be the same. He'll
Matt
never be the
Yinzer's
same.
not a fan of the Packer fans in here. The Packer
No,
fans
that's right. He's a good jackwagon. He's a
have
good jackwagon.
infiltrated the main event.
No, that's his go-to saying.
Today, but hey, let it be known that I was here to take my medicine, gentlemen. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You're
Whether
a good
you-
fan, bro. Mike. You're a good fan, bro. No one's
Because
ever
when
said that.
Thanksgiving comes, I'm going to be collecting receipts. Okay.
Hey,
we serving up
Thanksgiving
roasted
comes. Make sure that Jordan Love has his wing when he gets done when he wins. He wants
Yeah,
his turkey wing.
Yeah, he wants his drumstick, bro.
Yep.
Don't cheat him.
Yeah.
So yards per pass play, Green Bay averaged 8.5 yards per pass play in the game. That's about the league average. Detroit averaged 4.7 yards per pass play. Jahmyr Gibbs with an odd stat. Jahmyr Gibbs set an NFL record yesterday, 10 catches for the lowest yardage total in NFL history for a player that had 10 receptions, 31 yards.
Oh, God.
His longest target was 7 yards, folks. I'm sorry, John Morton. I get that these guys aren't, getting the playbook. They're young, whatever, but it's got to look better than that. Now, normally at this point in the show, guys, I look forward to next week's Lions game, but we don't have the opponent yet because, well, we know the opponent, but we can't scout the opponent yet because they play tonight, and that is the Chicago Bears, who are at home against the Minnesota Vikings. Game starts at 8:15. It's the NFL debut of J.J. McCarthy, also the NFL debut of Ben Johnson. So as some Packer fans, a Carolina Panthers fans, and a Detroit Lions fan, let's talk about this Minnesota at Chicago game here. If I'm not mistaken, Minnesota's favored by 1.5 in this one. A-Dub, can you confirm? Is that what the line is, a 1.5?
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Okay.
And
No, it is for sure. It is.
Okay.
1.5.
All right, so Minnesota on the road, a favorite. I'm sorry, but he's a rookie quarterback. I know they got a much better team. They have a great roster. I'm taking the home team. I'm taking the 1.5. Give me the home dog every day. Rob, who you got in this one? -1.5 for the Vikings.
Oh, I'm taking the Vikings. I think they cover all day. I know JJ's new, but I mean, I think they got other things, and they added to their defensive line. They added to their offensive line. They beefed it up. I think they're going to give Caleb everything that the Bears are going to give JJ. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they cover the spread and they win by at least 6 points, two field goals.
All right. Well, you knew Rob wasn't going to pick the Bears. John, I know you're not going to pick the Bears either, are you?
No, Caleb Williams a huge bust. And you're gonna see that tonight. You'll see that tonight.
See that tonight. Well, that plays good for Mike next week.
Playing the 1.5, then you're comfortable with laying a point. You think they'll win by more than 1.5?
It's another thing is the Bears don't got their best corner out there. Actually, their secondary is actually banged up, and some players not playing. So, I think trying to stop JJ and everything else, I think they're gonna have a hard time. So, I have actually Vikings winning by probably double digits. All
right, A-Dub, what do you think?
I'm picking Minnesota in this too. I mean, I'm just thinking, despite the fact that JJ may be a new face coming in, I'm thinking it's just as much of an advantage for him as a disadvantage, because when you're usually a rookie coming in, a new face coming into the NFL, the biggest advantage you have is that nobody knows how good you really are and what you're really capable of. So I'm taking him as far as a surprise idea. And then the thing about the Bears missing some guys, not only are they missing their top corners, those guys being Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, even one of their top linebackers, TJ Edwards, is an actor for this one.
I was about to say that. Yep.
Their defense, could be suspect. Good thing they're playing against a guy who wasn't that good of a quarterback in college. Will, who do you like tonight? Bears, Vikings?
Well, I think it's going to be a very close game because, like A-Dub said, TJ Edwards is out. You got Jalen Johnson who's out. You got Gordon who's out. And then for the Vikings, you're missing Harrison Smith. You're missing Christian Darrisaw. offensive
That's
tackle.
big.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought about it. Like, I was back and forth because the Vikings.
So you're saying Ty?
The Vikings don't have any good corners on their team. Their corners are horrific. With that being said, I think Van Ginkel and I think they got also, didn't they get Phillips in the offseason? So I think personally, I think they're going to just attack Caleb Williams and get 2 minutes, just blitz him. And I expected Minnesota to win at least by 3.
All right, so there you go. Everyone on the panel took the Vikings except me.
Yeah.
So I like that. I'm taking the Bears because I'll tell you why. Ben Johnson plays these guys. He knows how to beat Brian Flores. He knows how. He knows the way.
But
Whether
you gotta
his
have
guys execute it or not, I don't know.
Gotta have a quarterback to do that. Gotta have a quarterback to do that, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mike.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right, John. You got to have the QB to do it. But I think that Ben Johnson, the hype on Ben Johnson is overhyped. But he is a creative offensive mind, and he knows how to beat Brian Flores. So there we go.
Yeah, way overhyped. I agree.
So, guys, I'm going to pull you out now. Thanks so much for being on the show. We're going to do wrap it up. We're going to talk about a little fantasy football and then wrap this thing up. So you guys have a great night.
Have a
You
good
too,
one.
bud. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Get that stench of cheese out of here. Ah! No, those are some good guys. There were some good guys right there. There, we took our medicine. Now, let's take a look with the last 20 minutes that we have in this show. Next up, Chicago Bears in the friendly confines of Ford Field. And after that, it doesn't get any easier. But I'm glad to see this Ravens game on the schedule. It's a good reminder of 2023 when we lost 38-6. That was probably the worst I've seen the Detroit Lions during the Dan Campbell as far as effort was that game. It was even worse than the game yesterday against the Packers. That game in 23 against Baltimore, we went on the road and got obliterated. Had no answers. And the same MO. We got beat on the line of scrimmage all day on both sides of the ball. But what happened? We went 12-5 and went to the NFC title game. One game, folks, did not destroy our season because we have good players. The players are the ones that play the game, okay? You can have Ben Johnson or Bill Cowher or Mike Tomlin, anyone you want. But if you don't have good players, your team's not going to go anywhere. And we have good players. And for that reason, they have the right mentality. Like Dan Campbell said, we got the right dudes. We got to beat Chicago next week. You don't want to go 0-2 going into Baltimore on the road. Then going to Cincinnati on the road. Kansas City on the road. Ugh, that's brutal. Losing to Green Bay yesterday made a hard job harder. Getting to the bye week with at least 3 victories. These are playoff teams, division winners that we're playing here. In the first 7 weeks, if you watch this program, you know we've broken it down to how crucial these first 7 weeks are going to be for the Detroit Lions. Not only to eke out at least 3 wins here for our playoff run, but to also stay semi-healthy, like every NFL team is trying to do. But with the bye week coming week 8, we are going to see where we stand with these offensive linemen. Look, they're playing the best of the best, these rookies are, in these first 7 games. The back end of the schedule is a little bit friendlier. Next time we got to play the Packers, we're at home. Finally get to play the Cowboys at home. Steelers in late December, but Rodgers will be hurt by then. And we got 2 on the road in the NFC East against the Super Bowl champion and the team that eliminated us from the playoffs, a 12-win team. So the road is tough to hoe this year, Lions fans. And that was not a good start. We got to win next week. I will not, of course, see you again until after that game has been played next week. So a couple things to chew on before we get ready for next week. Number one, the sidebar or the sideshow that's going on, Ben Johnson coming back to Ford Field, playing against his mentor, Dan Campbell. That sideline is going to be so interesting to see how the media pumps that up. I'm going to really look forward to that. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the game tonight against Minnesota and Chicago. One of these teams is going to come out 1-0. One's going to come out 0-1. Unless there's a tie, let's hope there's not a tie. Just mucks everything up. Jay Smooth in the comments says, I need the Bears to destroy the Vikings defense for my fantasy. Because you're playing against the Vikings defense? Bummer. Estimated time on O-line gelling 4 to 6 games? Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't think you really can put a timetable on that. But one game certainly isn't going to be it. I think by the bye week, they'll get that extra week to be able to reflect. Heck, how many of them will even be still available by week 8? It's 100% injury rate in the NFL, folks. It's just part of the game. They get hurt. This game, that's why I laugh at anybody who tries to insinuate that this game is rigged, at least by the players in any way. Maybe the referees and the owners could be bought. Maybe there's some shady stuff going on there. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that these guys are risking the future health of their brain or the fact that they'll never walk right again and they're throwing it and they're in on it, no, you probably think the earth is flat. Yeah, so Brent, I think I'm gonna say 7 games by the bye week. If we come out, I've said this before, if we can come out to the bye week with 3 wins, there's definitely 7 more wins in these 9 more games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more games. There's definitely 7 wins in these 10 games. Whether we get them or not, I don't know, but they're definitely winnable games. I didn't have any faith in the Vikings last year. I probably looked like a potato head on that one. But I don't think anybody predicted what the Vikings would be last year. I predicted they'd finish last. I still think they finish last. They're going to prove me wrong again, probably. They have a great roster. And quarterback is the most important position, but it's not every position. And when you've got just somebody who can manage the game, and if J.J. McCarthy can do that, this is also a playoff team. Tough division. These Packers, they don't have an easy schedule. Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, they've got late. That's not a gimme. They've got some tough games, too. They do get Carolina. We get Tampa. What happens when you come in third and when you come in first in your division? So over my shoulder here, there used to be a big old giant trophy. That was the Fantasy Football League Championship trophy. And I had to give that back. So I'm not going to put anything in the background in that spot. I'm going to leave it blank. And until next year when I can put that trophy back in that spot. I had Jahmyr Gibbs. I had A.J. Brown. I had George Kittle. You know what? I also had the Green Bay defense. So I did pretty good there. But pretty much I got destroyed. Both of my leagues I got destroyed. The players that I recommended to you on last week's program for you to draft, they did really good. I just wasn't able to draft any of them. So my advice was good, but my execution was bad. I do like my team a little bit, though. I've got Lamar Jackson. I've got Jahmyr Gibbs. I've got A.J. Brown. We don't know the extent of the George Kittle hamstring injury yet. If you took him in your league, please put in the comments if you know anything more than I do about that Kittle injury. But I had Javonte Williams sitting on my bench who scored 2 touchdowns. I had guys like Deebo Samuel on my bench that scored off the charts. My bench did really well. So I, as a manager of my fantasy team, failed. I dropped the ball. Kind of like Dan Campbell and John Morton did this week. I did not put the right guys in. Fred says he had the Vikings in second last year. Finally got one right. Wow. You predicted Sam Darnold would get to second in this division? Well, you know your football, though. Brian Flores is one of the best DCs in the league. They are loaded with good players. Look, and I'm glad that Will brought up that Christian Darrisaw is not going to play tonight. That's big. He's a all-pro caliber left tackle. He's handled Aiden Hutchinson in the past. Corey in the house. What's up, Corey? It's Mane. Like Lion's Mane, Tonight, Vikings. Corey, aren't you a Vikings fan? I think you are. 1.5. You're favored on the road in the division. That's odd. It's so odd. It makes me wonder if the odds makers just have no faith in Chicago at all. You're watching the Main Event Football Show. We're on the Huddle Sports Network on Roku TV. We are also on Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions on YouTube and the Huddle Sports Network on YouTube. We're also on Facebook at Main Event Mike. Follow me on all social medias. I'm on Instagram, everything, Blue Sky, X, Twitter, whatever. I don't call it X. I call it Twitter still. Sorry. I grew up in the 90s. Being on X meant something completely different in the 90s. I'm going to tell you that. But thanks, everybody, for watching. If you're watching on the rebroadcast, watching the feed, we appreciate you too. Put in a comment. Love to interact with you. Didn't get to watch a lot of football this last weekend. I was able to watch the Packers-Lions, but had a couple singing gigs. Wasn't able to, camp out in front of the TV at 1 o'clock on Sunday like I'd like to be able to have more to talk about on this week. But really disappointed in the effort that the Lions gave. I'm really disappointed in the way the rookies played. And I feel a little sheepish for maybe thinking that Christian Mahogany and Tate Ratledge was going to be acceptable in the NFL in the NFC North in 2025. And it doesn't look like it is. Not in week 1 anyway. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great day. I'm Main Event Mike. See you next week. Peace out.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku.